All right, Rob, let's start here. There was an article in USA today by Christine Brennan, and she really poured into LeBron James. The title of it is LeBron James' stance on China uproar weakens his voice on other issues. The line that kind of sums up her thoughts, this was her opinion, of course.
It's a
and
column.
She mentioned it a few times in the column, was he is not the man we thought he was. And that's a powerful statement that I'm not going to second that, but that's what she feels and what a lot of people feel. So the question I want to throw out to you, Rob Parker, and we'll throw it out to our listeners in a few minutes as well. Is LeBron James's image irreparably damaged?
He's got a long way to go.
Irreparably damaged.
He's got a long way to go, and I don't know about his image, but I think she's right from the standpoint that his voice has been weakened, and it will be hard for people to stand up behind or rally behind LeBron on some other. I'm talking about social issues, Chris, not doing good things or building schools or helping poor people. No one's going to be down on that.
Right.
I'm talking about just when LeBron feels like he wants to speak out against something, people will look at it and maybe roll their eyes and say, "Oh, I guess he can afford to lose money on this one, or there's no money at stake, so he can back this."
I think that the latter is what they'd be more likely to say.
Yeah,
is
that
there's no money at stake.
There's no money at stake, so LeBron's going to come out strong on this because there's no money at stake. So I think his voice has definitely been weakened. I'm not so sure people will look at him or view him and the stuff that he did. And I've always given him credit because Michael Jordan picked the other route.
Right.
And he was criticized for it, Chris. So people who say, Michael Jordan didn't say anything and nobody said it, that's not true. It's not true. Michael was always criticized, Chris, for being what? He just wanted to sell soda pop,
to this
T-shirts,
day,
and sneakers.
One of his most famous quotes, arguably the most famous quote that he ever uttered in the NBA, was "Republicans buy sneakers too."
That's the one that's always pinned
That's what
to
everybody
him.
remembers. So,
And
he got criticized.
And here's the other part to that. It's because of that, as great as Michael Jordan was as a player, and he's a billionaire, and he owns a team, and he has no, imprint other than that, in society. Nobody cares to hear what Michael Jordan has to say about important issues, Chris. His name never comes up.
He's viewed as a great athlete, the GOAT to a lot of people,
and
including
that's
us as far as basketball. Yeah, and obviously he's wealthy. He's the first black owner in the NBA. But you're right. As far as social issues,
is he the first or second?
He's
what's
the first.
Called? No,
first black majority. Oh, yeah, Bob Johnson.
Bob
You're
Johnson,
right.
because he bought the team from Bob Johnson. Okay,
right.
Yeah, I was going to say. Okay.
But he's the only black owner in the league now.
Right. Yeah. But you see my point. That you don't you don't revere Michael Jordan in that sense.
Well, and some people are saying you knew what Jordan was. He made it clear from day one.
Right.
I'm just about playing ball and
making money.
Being a spokesman, making money. And he did and still does, Rob. Whenever these issues come up, whenever something going on in the black community comes up, he does get criticized. People still think he didn't do nearly enough. So
right, because it's
not just LeBron.
What's it from the Bible?
Right.
To much who is
whom much is given, much is expected.
Right? And that's
Look
always
at you all up in the Word.
I'm in the Word. You know what?
Worship Wednesday, you getting in the Word.
This Sunday, I might have to go to church and drop a couple of shekels.
In
the plate.
All right, that's always welcome. That's always welcome. All right, let me address the question, Rob. Is LeBron's image irreparably damaged? I would say no. What I would say is it'd be very hard for him to become Muhammad Ali. That's what he said years ago. He wants to be a global icon like Muhammad Ali.
Right.
That is not impossible. But what he would have to do to become viewed like Muhammad Ali is something I just don't see him doing. And what I would say that would have to be is to use your clout with Nike to say, look, I want to go see these sweatshops where these workers are working.
For 13 cents an hour or whatever it is.
It's a very low. They're working reportedly 10 hours a day. The conditions get up to 90 degrees in the sweatshop. Many a times the women have to go to the hospital. They're, like you said, minimum wage, whatever it is in that particular country, China, Indonesia, and other countries like that. Use your clout with Nike to say, and maybe he has seen the sweatshops. I don't know.
No, you're just doing
But
a
if you haven't, I
right.
want to go see them, and we're going to improve them. We're going to make these nice shops, and if it costs me a little money, so be it. But I want to improve conditions in these sweatshops. I think a move like that is, and followed by this, or not followed by this, but something else he'd need to do. This would probably come first. Come out and apologize to Daryl Morey and say, look, I was not myself really informed on what was going on in China. I just didn't know, I haven't, it's not in my face every day. I don't live there, obviously. When I've been over there, it's been about appearances and basketball. And I really just I wasn't educated myself on the subject. But now, as this controversy is waged, I've done some reading, I've done some studying, I've talked to some people, and I have found out what's going on over there, the human rights violations. And so my view has changed. I want to apologize to Daryl Morey. I support his right for freedom of speech. And I was misinformed. If he didn't, look, do I expect LeBron to do either of those two things? No.
No, but you're giving what you think he should do. I get it.
If you want to, one, be viewed like Muhammad Ali, and two, get this quote unquote stain off your record, it would take something like this. And I think you would do it. Now, if he doesn't do any of those things, Rob, what's his legacy? Obviously, great basketball player. And he'll still be viewed as a great businessman, a man who empowered his childhood friends off the court, a man who was just as business savvy as any athlete we've seen in America, and created this business, empire for himself and his friends. And he also will be viewed to some degree as conscientious in America, for the stands he's taking here in America. And that'll be it. He won't be viewed as any great social justice warrior. He won't be viewed like Ali or Kaepernick or anybody like that. He'll be viewed as he was a great businessman. He was a little bit conscientious when it came to, America and black people and poor people. But he wasn't, this would dominate his social justice image, and it would be it would really tamper and damper down what the other things he's done. So that's where I think he would his image would be. So I don't think it's irreparably damaged. I think there are things he could do to change it, but otherwise he's just going to be viewed as people will start to think of him, Rob, maybe as he's not Jordan. I'm talking about off the court. And he's not Ali. He's in the middle. But a lot of people would say he leans more toward being like Jordan.
And see, here's the thing.
Than being like Ali.
I think in this case, first of all, you can't turn on and off a civil rights or kind of switch depending on what fits for you.
Agreed.
And number two, Chris, I think you kind of got to stick in your lane. Michael Jordan was consistent. Not that it spared him from criticism, but he just didn't get involved,
and not that
right?
It was right, but
not
yeah,
that it was right, but you knew what you were getting. Nobody went to Michael Jordan about that stuff, right? And then, or you're Ali and you're all into it. So I'm saying he's trying to play both sides, and it doesn't work in a situation like this.
So you're saying unless he were to come out and kind of do something, like I said, apologize to Maury, do some type of, work with the human rights violations in China, that he when he comments about social issues, it's not going to be the same.
I think it's been weakened. And
what I'll say is this, Rob. I think you can't say LeBron hasn't been conscientious and spoken out.
No, I didn't say that.
But I know you're not. I'm just saying you generically. But I do think his social justice stance, like, it's been a little overblown how quote unquote woke he is. Not that he's not woke. He's woke. But it's been overblown because the bar for athletes is so low.
Right.
Like, what did he do? He criticized President Trump, called him a bum on Twitter. Easy to do right now. Right. Easy to do right now. He wore the I Can't Breathe shirt, which is nice, but, a lot of other players did too. He wasn't the only one. It wasn't even his idea.
But he's done some other things.
He did the Trayvon Martin hoodie picture, which is nice, but, it's not like Ali like. You know what I mean? It's nice. It's a good gesture. But, when Tamir Rice, he was asked about Tamir Rice. He said he really wasn't up on that. He didn't address that. So, and what he's really done, the school has been great. And he has spoken up on some issues, so I think, that's kind of where we stand. But he's been social kind. You make a good point though. For a lot of people, it's going to be hard for them to hear it when if he speaks out. I'm sure he'll speak out again on some domestic issues. So we'll see. All right, what do you guys think? 877-99 on Fox, 877-996-6369. Is LeBron's image irreparably damaged by his comments about Daryl Morey and China? Your turn to weigh in with the Odd Couple.
Colby in D.C., you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Colby? What you got?
How's it going, guys? I love the show. Love that you guys are tackling this LeBron topic, which a lot of people seem to be dancing around, so I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yes, man. So a few things, just real quick. Chris, that quote from Michael Jordan about Republicans buy sneakers, I think it was said by Sam Smith, the writer, and I think he started to walk it back over the years, saying that he didn't actually hear it from Jordan, somebody else.
Somebody said it or something. It's attributed to Jordan, but yeah. I agree with that. I've heard that too.
So did Jordan? Is it up for debate that he actually said that?
Yeah, it is. It's been walked back the last few years. Sam Smith.
Jordan has denied it. Jordan has denied it vehemently, actually.
But it's attributed to him.
I wanted to also say, he has built hospitals and shit. He has done things, donated money to police as well as Black Lives Matter.
Jordan.
It's just that Jordan. It's just
that he has.
He doesn't tweet and Instagram his every good deed the way LeBron does, so people tend to not know.
No, that's true. So. Jordan does a lot of stuff, but I'm just saying he doesn't have the same imprint that he could have in the community if he just spoke up. Not all the time, but sometimes.
He's definitely done a lot now.
Oh, yeah, a lot more lately. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, Sean in Sacramento. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got, Sean?
Man, what's up, fellas? Man, I'm glad it's a Worship Wednesday, man, because I need some Jesus after what LeBron talking about. So first of all, man, I'm first generation Filipino on my mom's side, so that's a country that's also been wrapped up in a lot of stuff that Nike's doing, a lot of companies out here doing, and my fiance is actually first generation Chinese, so. She was real upset about what he's saying, too. In my eyes, he'll never be able to repair this image. They're burning jerseys in Hong Kong, and some of the stuff that he's saying, LeBron is so far removed from the person he was growing up. He's closer to the 1%. He reminds me a lot of what Jerry Jones does when he was taking knees with players and donating to these inner city communities. You're doing it because it's window dressing. You really have nothing to lose by supporting Black Lives Matter. You have nothing to lose by being anti-Trump. When it comes to you actually making a stand for people that are actually going through stuff like dying for their freedom, freedom of speech. You know what I mean? My girlfriend's family had to immigrate to escape communism. You know what I mean? And for him to say stuff like, this doesn't affect me and I can't really speak on everything. Bro, that's what Black Lives Matter is about. It's about opening up the conversation so people that are in higher status or may not be that same race could understand what you're going through.
Bravo.
And for him to say that, you know what I mean? It's hurting everything that he's been standing on this whole time.
Sean, you're spot on. This is something that Chris and I talked about before the show, and we're going to talk about it later in the program. Yep. Some people, and especially some black fans of LeBron, are misguided in some of the stuff that they're talking about. It defeats the whole purpose. So, Sean, thank you, man, for sharing that. And
that was strong, Sean.
There's somebody who's affected, Chris. He just talked about it.
Yep.
Don't act like they're people and it's nameless and faceless and nobody matters. John in Maine, you're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What you got?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had two comments. I do think that LeBron's image has definitely been tarnished. And I called in right at the beginning of the show where you guys said LeBron could do two things. And one thing he could do is apologize, which he's likely not to do. And then the other thing that he could do is maybe go and take a look at some of these places where his products are being made, which are sweatshops in China. But what I thought he might be able to do is put his money where his mouth is and take some of that production and bring it back to the United States. Because as I said, as you know, I'm calling from Maine, and New Balance sneakers are made in Maine. And I know it's not, they're not Jordans.
I know what you're saying. I mean, that would be interesting because.
Thanks, John.
Look, we all would love to get jobs back here in the United States, these manufacturing jobs. But I also think a lot of people would look at that like, okay, now he's taking, as bad as the situations may be, he's taking jobs out of China. Those people, you know what I mean? Like, I think people might look at that a few different ways. This is a global issue he's kind of delved into. It wouldn't be bad, but I think the first option would be a little better, in my opinion, if he's improved conditions over there.
I want to squeeze one more in.
Yep.
How about Jeff in Kansas? You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Jeff?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. You guys are awesome. You really are.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, LeBron may be able to overcome the domestic image as far as, here in the States. But I think globally, man, it's going to be next to impossible, to be able to get around this and to be able to recover. It just amazes me that people in his camp, somebody does not confide in him before he makes these comments.
Absolutely.
And, it blows my mind. I mean, he's one of the most influential people all over the world. And you're making a comment, which if you'd have really thought about it, I don't think you'd want to make it. It's kind of, to me, guys, what it likens to is when you send a text to the wrong person and wish you could take it back.
Right. And
it ain't going to happen.
And, Jeff, here's the other thing, and you make a great point. LeBron had 9 days to come up with this. This wasn't like the next morning or, you know what I mean, or somebody stuck a microphone. You had 9 days to craft your message.
I mean, LeBron knew what he was saying. Like you said, he had all that time to think about it. And it sounds like he was upset about what the things that happened to them in China. I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? How uncomfortable it was made for them in China. Whatever that was, events canceled, appearances canceled, some money lost. I think he got so bothered by that it skewed his view point of the whole thing.
I think you're right.
And I think he was ready to be like, look, I'm going to set Daryl Morey straight because we were over there sweating, and I don't want to belittle what they may have gone through over there. But again, it pales in comparison to what the people in Hong Kong, the Uyghur Muslims and people like that are going through over there who are being oppressed. All right. Hey, it's the Odd Couple. I'm Chris. He is Rob. And we want to encourage all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. You can listen to us on the radio, and now you can watch us as well, and it's fun.
No question about it. And remember, oh, yeah!